Good morning, everybody, and welcome to OptionPit.com. There we go. All right, everybody, thank you for coming in. I'm Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com. Mark is, well, he's on Fox News. And I got to mute everybody. Mute. All right. How's everybody doing today? Anybody have trouble trying to sell some puts this morning? Not easy. Not easy to get anything done this morning. Here I get say realized vol shows no signs of slowing down was the blog last night. We'll get to that in a second. Learning using volatility to trade direction. We've got a lot of volatility in the market. Might as well learn how to use it, right? Come to our free webinar on, I believe it is, October 23rd. Okay, there will be a recording sent to all those who register. Then we will have another volatility directional trading class in November. That will cost you money. Free for all Option Pit subscribers that are in our Option Pit live room or gold, platinum, or above. Okay, well, what do we got today? Okay, what we got is, I'm going to cover the blog a second. Again, something we teach a lot about in Option Pit. Actually, a subject in our platinum course this morning before the opening. You know, realized vol is on the move. Okay, this morning it looks like we had a gap opening, probably down about 1.5%. Again, VIX covering that move pretty well. I think it saw 26, right? Pretty high. Okay, let's just say it looks like things are settling somewhat. I'd say look at things are selling somewhat. I got some notes. Let's see for our VXX positions. Throw some offers in. Try to get some flies closed, just part of them, mostly because we're just pressing up against the upper end of our range. But here, again, VIX gapped up. You know, we had talked a little bit about this. You know, once VIX crosses 20, once it usually crosses it twice. It certainly does. Now what we're called, I will call funny enough, we are in zone 4 for volatility. Meaning what? Meaning vol can go just about anywhere. Okay, VIX can go just about anywhere. So at this level, who knows? Is 28 the high? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Although we got an airline stock sub 56 cents. We had decent earnings, I think, from Intel last night. The banks seem to be still under attack from the government, so that's not great. But let's take a look at XLF today. You know, just not looking great, although it is bouncing. So it looks like there was definitely some blowouts. The most interesting trade here is, you know, a 126 high in TLT, this gap here. So I think we'll take a look at this in our chat today. See if we can come up with some sort of trade here with the high vol. You know, I'm trying to think of, I still think in general, Gamma feels fairly priced because we're moving so much. Can we be down 40 points today in the S&P 500? Possibly. Again, there's really no new bad news. It seems like more than inflation. You know, more of the inflation more of the inflation or deflation in Europe is freaking everybody out. And I think the Fed is sort of out of room to do anything, and the market is going to do what it's going to do. Let's do a little memory refresh here, just going back to September. Okay. Oopsie. If we look back at, okay, I guess somebody's covering some treasuries. That's what that looks like to me. Because that is in no man's land. Although this data here is delayed, I've got to get my live vol X pulled up. But let's just take a look at 2 years ago here. Okay. You know, remember last May we had this kind of where do we go? 166 to 155. That was about a 5% drop, but a little bit more from the top, 170 to 150, more like 10. A 10% drop from us from the top is about 1,800. Okay, so again, that data is a little delayed. The market is coming back slightly. It would be easy for us to still see, a 10% drop. We're not too far away from that now. The E-mini is 1851. That's only 50 handles away. And right now, that's a one-day move. All right, so again, we have no real reason to rally unless we start getting some really good earnings reports coming out. Okay, oil's cheaper. That's good for about 90% of the economy. For the 10% involved in oil, not so good. So today we'd like to look at TLT, see if there's a trade in the high vol there, mostly because it's moving so much now, almost any trade can make sense in there. Any trade trying to ride the gamma in here, because now it's not, if it's moving $3 a day, almost anything. So there's some things that we had been looking at. Whoopsie, I should be pulling up charts. That's what I want to do. So again, we're getting a lot of realized vol. If selling at the money volatility right now is going to be hard, even iron condors, let's wait till you have a couple days of reduced vol before you start thinking about those type of trades. That's all I'm going to say. Because we still don't have any sort of measurable decline in VIX. The only thing we have right now is we're not at the high that it just was, but we're not getting any sustained decline for one day. Everybody notice, VIX has not been able to maintain a sustained downdraft since last week. Okay, I think once you start seeing vol come down day over day, that will be something is coming out to start to sort of slow the pace of this down. But there's no reason to think why today cannot be like any other day. Vol opens up high, it sells off, and then starts ramping right back up again. There's no reason to think that that can't happen again today. Okay, and that's where we are. So again, realized vol, I expect to stay high. I expect VIX to stay relatively elevated, and really what we're looking for is one day where vol closes lower than it opens. We haven't seen it in 5 straight days now. Right? So what I would do is I'd be careful about any vol sales that you just jump into hurly-burly. Okay, we had come up with ideas of some of the broken wing flies and things like that in VIX. That certainly is helping us as vol flies up. All right, everybody, you have a good day, and I will see you in the chat room shortly. Bye-bye.